Welcome to Melodies TV, Ghana's #1 social platform.
Important partner to all political parties, especially the NDC, in this democratic experiment of ours. We cherish you and we appreciate the coverage you have given us all these years, and particularly during the conduct of the December 7, 2020 polls. Before we start, I wish to make a point or address an issue that happened in our premises today. My attention has just been drawn to the fact that some media men, when you were coming for this press conference, were nearly harassed down there by some of our party supporters. As National Communications Officer of the party, I have the permission of the leadership of the party to apologize to all of you. We are very sorry for that. Like I said, we appreciate the good work you're doing for Mother Ghana. And so you are not our opponents, you are not our enemies. And we are very sorry that we recorded such an incident. To NDC supporters watching and listening to this press conference, it is important for us to understand that the media is the fourth estate of the realm. We need the media, we need their platforms to convey our message. And the media also needs the NDC. One cannot do without the other. And so we must always collaborate and work together. Yes, during the conduct of the elections, we've had cause to raise concerns about some of the figures and information that some media organizations put out there. What we will say to that is, media organizations are human institutions. The people who work there are not infallible. Just like political parties can err, media organizations can also err. But the most important thing is that when you err, you publicly acknowledge that you've erred and you apologize for saying. Now, when you do that, it erases any suspicions of ill motives and it engenders trust among ourselves. So I'm sure that if media organizations like TV3 and a few others, Joy, UTV, who got some of their figures wrong, had apologized, I'm told some did apologize and retract. Some haven't, hence the tension. I'm sure, we would have put everything behind us and made progress. But that is not an excuse for anyone to harass any media man. And so, comrades watching, comrades listening, whether you are a social media activist of the party or you are a full soldier or you are an NDC member or official, understand, in actual fact, the cameramen and the reporters gathered here are not those who were in control of the reportage on their various networks between the 7th and the 9th. So if you attack them, what are you achieving? So let us understand that they are human institutions, they can get their facts and figures wrong. Ethically and professionally, we expect that when they get their facts wrong, they admit, apologize so that we make progress to erase any suspicions of ill motives. But even if they don't do that, let us still respect the cordial relationship we've built all these years. I call them all the needed respect so that we can continue to work together. So if you're a media house here, journalist here, who was assaulted in any way, insulted, there's not been any physical assault, but some were insulted and all that, we are very sorry for that. And we look forward to deepening our collaboration with you in the coming months and years. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this crucial press conference is intended to update you, our friends in the media, and the nation as a whole about issues pertaining to the results of the 2020 presidential and parliamentary elections declared by the G. Mensah-led Electoral Commission. On December 7, 2020, we went for the presidential and parliamentary elections. As a key stakeholder, the NDC had hoped that the process would be free, fair, and peaceful. Unfortunately, that was not the case. The elections was rigged by the G. Mensah-led Electoral Commission, acting in concert with the New Patriotic Party for candidate Akufo-Addo and other NPP parliamentary candidates. And so the results declared by the G. Mensah-led Electoral Commission is a stolen verdict, as the NDC has maintained since the declaration. And this is why the party and our flag bearer have roundly rejected the results declared by the Electoral Commission. And so, to start with, we want to reiterate that position and state that we still stand by that position. The election results declared by G. Mensah and the Electoral Commission of Ghana is a fraudulent one. The whole process and the results, the outcome that has been publicized is completely flawed. And so, as a political party, we maintain our position that we cannot accept the results, we reject the results, and same should not be allowed to stand. Now, since our flag bearer and the NDC communicated this position to the nation and the world, there have been calls for us to adduce evidence to justify our decision to reject the results as declared by the Electoral Commission. Some have suggested that John Mahama and the NDC are bad losers, that our opposition to the declared results is nothing but sour grapes. Some have suggested that we have no evidence of electoral fraud, and that we should go to court if we think that we have evidence that there was electoral fraud, and so many issues. And so we have invited you here, ladies and gentlemen, to share with you just a few of the incontrovertible pieces of evidence we have gathered that shows that the results declared by G. Mensah, and here I'm talking about the presidential results, is fraudulent, and that was not the outcome of the December 7, 2020 polls. What we are going to share with you is just a tip of the iceberg. We are sharing this with you because this issue is a matter of grave public interest. We are not going to try any issue in a court of public opinion, no. But Ghanaians who voted for change deserve to know that the true verdict they voted for has been stolen. We cannot continue to keep Ghanaians, the media, in the dark for the NPP and their surrogates to go around deceiving people that the election was free, fair, and peaceful. There was no rigging and all that. And so, just like our flag bearer and the leadership of the party have already indicated, we are conducting an audit into the declared results, auditing all pink sheets. So far, we've gathered several, pieces of evidence that shows that the elections, number one, was not free, fair, and peaceful. And that the results declared, I want to repeat, are fraudulent. And I believe that by the time we are done with this presentation, you will be left in no doubt about the truthfulness of this statement I just made. Now, before I even start, it is important to make the point that John Dramani Mahama has and continues to be a consummate Democrat. He's been a Democrat all his life, serving this country in different positions. As deputy minister, as member of parliament, as minister of state, as vice president, as president. He's demonstrated beyond every doubt that he's a peace-loving, patriotic Ghanaian. He won elections in 2012. He lost elections as an incumbent president in 2016. He accepted the results and facilitated a peaceful and smooth transition. So this is not a man who is known for rabble-rousing or rejecting the results of an election. He is a peaceful, peace-loving, I should say, Democrat who has this country at heart. And so if he comes out to tell you that the results we have seen and other pieces of evidence we have seen show that the results declared by the G. Mensah-led Electoral Commission is flawed, is fraudulent, and that we cannot accept same, it should not be dismissed like some people are doing. Because he's not known for that. If for nothing at all, let's credit him with some credibility and integrity, because he has earned it throughout his many years of national service. So why are we saying that the results declared by the G. Mensah-led Electoral Commission is fraudulent? Hence our rejection of same. I'm going to give you 4 reasons why the NDC maintains that the results declared by the Electoral Commission, and here I'm talking about presidential results, are flawed. President Akufo-Addo did not win this election.
Yes.
President Akufo-Addo did not win this election. The facts are clear. He did not win this election. And he's not entitled to the votes he has been given and the percentages he has been given. And so I will start with, I'm starting with the presidential. We are giving you 4 reasons. I will speak to 3. I will then invite Dr. Justice Moses Aheto, who is a statistician and a lecturer at University of Ghana, a member of the audit team set up by the flag bearer of the party to conduct this investigation and audit into the results declared by the Electoral Commission. We'll deal with one of the issues. When we are done, we will give you reasons why the parliamentary results have also been rigged, and how the Electoral Commission and the NPP are desperately seeking to deny the NDC of the parliamentary majority we won on the 7th of December. So we will deal with the parliamentary issues, and then we will address the issue of security during the election process. So let us set the ball rolling by looking at the presidential results. The first reason why we maintain that the presidential results declared by G. Mensah and the Electoral Commission of Ghana is fraudulent is because of widespread cases of pardon that we have detected in the declared results. Widespread cases of pardon. And this pardon comes in 2 forms. The first form is where President Akufo-Addo's votes are increased. That's what I mean by pardoned. And candidate Mohammed's votes are reduced. And then the second form is where President Mohammed's votes are also increased, but President Akufo-Addo's votes are padded with a relatively higher amount of votes. So they give President Mohammed, say, 50, and then they give Akufo-Addo, say, 500. So the net effect of that shows pardon in favor of candidate Akufo-Addo in all cases. And so we will show you a table, if we can have the table on the screen. So, ladies and gentlemen, because this is a press conference and not a trial, and because of time constraints, because we can't show you everything we have, we are just going to show you 6 examples 5 constituencies in Ashanti region and 1 in the northern region, just to demonstrate to you that the pattern is a nationwide phenomenon and not just an Ashanti region phenomenon. Now, in Edreso constituency, we have collated all the results. If you want to see all the pin sheets, there are 206 polling stations in Edreso, including special voting. If you want to see all the pink sheets, you can come to my office after this press conference. I will show the pink sheets to you. Now, we've tabulated all the results from all 206 polling stations. Now, the NPP, according to the Electoral Commission, here we are talking about candidate Akufo-Addo, got 69,999. 69,399. This is what the Electoral Commission declared for candidate Akufo-Addo in the presidential elections in Edreso. 69,399. President Mahama got 14,500. Now, when we collated all the figures from the 206 polling stations in Edreso, President Akufo-Addo did not get 69,399 as the EC declared. Rather, he got 69,297. And President Mahama did not get 14,500, but got 14,617. And so, in Edreso alone, in the presidential elections, President Akufo-Addo's votes have been padded with 102 votes. And President Mahama's votes have been reduced by 117. So the net effect is padding of votes of 219 in favor of candidate Akufo-Addo. And we have the pink sheets. Nobody can dispute this. And let nobody tell you that, oh, this is insignificant. We are not just talking about 6. We have dozens and hundreds of this. And in an election where the candidate who must be declared a winner is supposed to secure 50% plus 1, even 1 vote matters. So you come to Akwema, also in the Ashanti region. Candidate Akufo-Addo, according to the EC, got 77,487. That is what was declared for him. Candidate Mahama got 14,963. That is what the EC declared for him. But in reality, in Akwema, where in Akwema, you realize that if you total all the polling station results, President Akufo-Addo does not get 77,487 as declared by the EC. He gets 77,152. Meaning that his votes have been padded with 335 votes. John Mahama doesn't get 14,963 votes as declared by the EC. John Mahama gets 15,290. So they give Akufo-Addo 335, and then they give Mahama 327. Then you come to, they reduce by that figure. Then you come to Akrofum. 64 polling stations. We have 64 polling stations in Akrofum. In Akrofum, the EC claims that candidate Akufo-Addo got 11,869 votes. But in reality, they got 11,480. So, candidate Akufo-Addo's votes have been padded with 389 votes. The votes declared for John Mahama was 8,210. But you check 813. So you see the statistics there. 8,013. Then you come to Akwema North. The EC claims that the NPP got That's candidate Akufo-Addo got 48,817. And candidate Mahama got 13,300. But in reality, candidates, okay, so sorry, I've been swapping the figures. The EC's declaration is the one in the third column, 48,717. But the correlated figure is 48,817. So they have added 100 votes to President Akufo-Addo's numbers. President Mahama's vote, 13,690. But what has been declared for him is 13,300. So they have reduced 390 from his votes. So you add 100 to 390, you get 490. Let me just correct the Akrofrom one, because I think I made the same mistake there too. What the EC has declared for the NPP in Akrofrom is 11,480. That is the third column. But in reality, if you total all the figures on the faces of the pink sheets, you get 11,869. So they have added 389 more votes to their votes. President Mahama, the EC gave 8,013. But in reality, he got 8,210. So they have deducted 197 from President Mahama's votes and given President Akufo-Addo 389 votes. So the sum total of that gives you a padding effect of 586. Atwema Kwangoma, candidate Akufo-Addo, the EC gave him, that one is correct. So I think those who did this sheet is what, there's a bit of a problem there. So Manshianoff, 40,000 for candidate Akufo-Addo, 40,425. That is what the Electoral Commission gave him. But in reality, if you add all the figures on the pink sheets, he got 40,147. And so 278 votes have been added to his votes. President Mahama was given 16,116. But in reality, he should have been given 16,160. So they took 44. So this is the trend you are going to see if you check the pink sheets in various constituencies in the Ashanti region. And like I said, there are so many of these examples. We are dealing with over 38,000 polling stations. And so we are still gathering more. We will be updating the nation and the world about our findings. And at the right time, the party will announce to you what we'll be doing with these pieces of evidence that we have gathered so far. Now you come to Gushegu in the northern region. We just added Gushegu to show that this is not an Ashanti phenomenon. It is in the eastern region, it is in the central region, it is in the western region, it is in the northern region, even in NDC strongholds. You see this pattern being done for candidate Akufo-Addo. So Gushegu is a classical example. In Gushegu, this is one of the constituency coalition sheets which was used in declaring the results. And we are going to do photocopies for you because this is a public document. It's a coalition sheet. Now, if you add, they have listed the votes candidate Akufo-Addo got and the votes John Mahama got. We didn't contest the figures. And mind you, we have not audited, we are not talking about overvoting, we just added the figures recorded for candidate Akufo-Addo and John Mahama on the faces of pink sheets. So we have not even done auditing to ascertain whether those pink sheets are even valid or not. Because some might have been vitiated as a result of overvoting or other forms of infractions. So, what we have shown you so far is just the discrepancy between the constituency results declared by the EC and what we got when we aggregated all the results on the faces of pink sheets in those constituencies. Now, in Gushegu, these are the entries made for candidate Akufo-Addo and for John Mahama. When you add the figures, candidate Akufo-Addo's figure doesn't add up. They have added 900 votes to his votes. And they have taken 100 votes from John Mahama's votes. Is there any media man from multimedia or City or TV3 here? Are they here? Joy News is here. Who is a reporter here, please, respectfully? No, I just want to give you the sheets. I want you to authenticate it for purposes of, I want a neutral referee. Because when you take these sheets and you add the figures that have been indicated here for candidate Akufo-Addo, you realize that it should not be giving you a total of 4,766. It should be giving you a total of 3,866 and not 4,766. So they've added 900 votes. When you add John Mahama's votes, you should not be getting 3,972. You should be getting 4,072. So they have taken 100 votes from his votes. So in Gushegu alone, the net effect of the stealing that went on during the election is 1,000 votes for candidate Akufo-Addo. That is Gushegu alone. And if I get any of these media men here, I will give you this sheet. This is just a photocopy. You can go and do the calculation. You understand? So that we can get, we need people to fact check what we are saying. We need people to fact check what we are saying and confirm to the public that what we are saying is factual. Votes have been padded. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we have unearthed several cases, like I said, widespread cases of padding of the presidential election results in several constituencies. And if you put the figures together, that alone, this infraction alone, is enough to push the presidential election into a second round. That is just padding. So we have all the pink sheets. We have all the pink sheets. Let me repeat that. And at the right time, we are going to make our findings public. I'm a lawyer, so I know that I don't have to show you everything I have. So we'll pause this first leg of our issues here, and then we'll look at the second one. Second issue is overvoting. But you know, there are simple cases of overvoting where ballot papers in the ballot box exceed ballots issued. You understand? That one, sometimes you get 2 excess ballots, 3, 4, 5, is overvoting. And the law says that even if it is 1, the results must be annulled. That is what the law says. So we are going to show you examples. We have many of them. Thousands and thousands. But we'll show you just 10. But before we show you that, there is a very strange case of overvoting. Even though it is overvoting, it is not overvoting simplicity. This one is naked thievery. That I want to demonstrate to you. So, Sunyani West. A polling station, put the Sunyani West polling station results on the screen. SDA, no, the pink sheet first. SDA Primary School, Shra 1, is here. SDA Primary School. Can I get any media man to volunteer and come here to help me? I just want somebody to confirm, because the writings are a bit faint and your cameras may not be able to capture it. Anybody at all? Media man. Okay. So you hold this. So the name of this polling station is SDA Primary School, Chira 1. Now, how many people voted? In fact, what was the number of ballots issued to voters on the polling station register? That is C1. 468 ballots issued. Now, total vote cast 466. So ballots issued 468, vote cast 466. SDA Primary School Chira 1. But how many people are on the register at this polling station? Ladies and gentlemen, I have their register here. 49. 49. So you can confirm what I said is a media. Which media organization? Next TV. Okay. So you can confirm that. This is the register. The NPP has this register. You can count the people in the register and their pictures. It is 49. Now, hold on. So you have 49 people on the register. How many ballot papers did the EC send to this polling station? Because there is something called ballot statistics. When the EC deploys ballot papers to various polling stations, a form is filled and all political parties are given copies. So I have the ballot statistics for Sunyani West. If you go to the relevant page, SDA Primary School Chira 1, total voters 49. So not only is the 49 figure confirmed here, it is confirmed here. Now, how many ballots were sent there? When they are sending the ballots, they add 5% more. So they had 49, 5% gives you 51. But because the ballot booklets are in hundreds, 50, 25, and 10, they were giving one booklet, 50 ballot booklets. And then they were giving one of the 10. So total number of ballot papers the EC gave them is 60. Yet 468 people had ballot papers and voted. So you have 49 people on the register. 49. The ballot papers the EC gave them, 60. How many people voted? 468. And Akufo-Addo won here. You can confirm the ballot statistics too. When you are done, you can take your seat. I just want you to confirm this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I will explain to you what accounts for this and the several other cases of overvoting we have detected. But let's see. Unfortunately, the writings on some of the pink sheets are very faint. And so I wonder whether you'll be able to see it on the screen. But you put it on the screen and let's see whether it will be legible. I said I'll show you 10 clear cases of overvoting. Now, the ballots. This is new Edubiase. Let me start with this. The ballots issued is 390. 390. But ballots in the box is 393. So clear overvoting of 3. You come to New Edubiase, the name is Methodist Primary School, NE. Then this is MAJHS, Asuyabu Kwadaso. Ballots issued 353. Total vote cast 357. So clear overvoting. You come to Pentecost Church, Denche Mbuaso, Denche Muaso. Okay, this is M. Denche Muaso. Thank you. Ballots issued 356. Ballots in the box 359. So you see overvoting there. Now, you come to Utakwa Factory, April 2, Kwadaso. Ballot papers issued 372. Total vote cast 375. Clear overvoting. Formina RC Primary School, Kwapia. Ballots issued 491. The vote cast 493. So you see, I can go on and on and on. These are clear acts of overvoting where the total number of ballots in the ballot box exceed the total number of ballots issued. So the question is, where did the excess ballots come from? And that is what I'm going to explain to you. You see, like I can't say, nokre asa. Because, but for the fact that truth has become a scarce commodity in our country today, nobody should have any qualms with the NDC or President Mahama rejecting the outcome or the results declared by Jim Mensah. In fact, all objective minds should have joined us in rejecting the results of the 2020 presidential and parliamentary elections. Because right from the outset, it was clear that the NPP had been given an illegal advantage to cheat by the Electoral Commission. They had been given official ballot papers, which are security materials, stamped with the EC's validation stamp. We got wind of that. We held press conferences, blew the matter up. In some cases, they were caught pants down. Some of the SS ballots were bent. But in many cases, they didn't bend the SS ballots. So on election day, we caught a lot of NPP people at different parts of the country with already thumb-printed ballot papers. And in all cases, the already thumb-printed ballot papers had been thumb-printed for candidate Akufo-Addo. I have not seen any of those ballot papers where it had been thumb-printed for John Mahama. And I have not seen any NDC supporter or member who has been arrested for having in his possession already thumb-printed ballot papers. So it is clear that the NPP had these ballot papers. And on top of that, they had the EC validation stamp. How did they get the ballot papers? And how did they get the EC validation stamp? And people have been caught on video with bags full of already thumb-printed ballot papers. And yet, people want us to accept that this election was fought on an even playing field and therefore the results are free and fair. Throughout, I am a young man, but throughout my adult life, I have never seen any election in this country where people are being arrested left, right, center with thousands of already thumb-printed ballot papers for one candidate. And nobody is talking about it. So those ballot papers, when we raised the issue, Dr. Srebo and the spokespersons of the EC said, oh, our electoral system is robust. That is why we caught them. So they were not successful in stuffing ballot boxes with the thumb-printed ballot papers. But ladies and gentlemen, the cases of overvoting we have shown you here, like the Sunyane West one, and the other ones we have shown you, where ballot papers in the ballot box, in other words, total vote cast, exceed ballots issued to the polling station, should let any discerning mind know that there was ballot stuffing. Either than that, how can you have 49 people on the register, 60 ballot papers are sent to the polling station, and 468 people vote? When the ballot papers I mean, is that magic or what? Then, all the other cases, overvoting of 3, 4, 5, 2, where did they get the extra ballot papers? It was the extra ballot papers the Electoral Commission gave them. They were not taken out as foreign materials because they all had the EC validation stamps. So for those of us watching, maybe you have not seen what I'm talking about. I just want to show you one video of what I'm talking about so that you know what actually transpired and why right from the outset the EC has set out to give the NPP an unfair and an illegal advantage to cheat. There is nowhere in the world that an incumbent party will be given electoral materials like ballot papers already thumb-printed and stamped with the electoral management body's validation stamp that the results in that election will be accepted. Nowhere in the world. By now, people in the Electoral Commission should be facing law enforcement agencies. How did people get your stamps? Nobody's talking about that. Let's see this video.
Checking the serial numbers.
Look at the number of ballot papers, all time printed for one person.
Especially the serial numbers.
These are the EC validation stamps. It's okay, we don't have time, so let's move on. These videos are already on social media. There is a Sawase one, there is a Jeso one, there is a Accra Circle one, there is a Manson Quanta one, which they have denied, but that denial is a farcical denial. You can't say that, oh, the serial numbers are wrong. During sorting and counting, who checks the serial numbers of ballot papers? Who? During sorting and counting, what polling party agents are after and EC officials are after are where the thumbprint is for them to do sorting. Who picks the ballot paper and checks serial numbers? The reason why the serial numbers don't tally with what was released to those constituencies is because they printed excess ballot papers. So yes, the serial numbers for the Manso Quanta one fall outside the range of serial numbers the EC took there. But the fact that they have the validation stamps of the EC shows that they are authentic. And you can't say that people were not successful with ballot stuffing because we have shown you clear cases of overvoting. So let's all be objective. Let's all be patriotic. Let's all be honest and call a spade and not a digging tool. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the third issue, the third reason why the NDC maintains that the 2020 presidential election results declared by G. Mensa is completely fraudulent, hence our rejection of same, is the absence of persons verified either manually or with a biometric verification device, the absence of those entries on the faces of pink sheets. This is different from what the NPP took to court in that fraudulent election petition case, which was dismissed. Because with that one, you had on the faces of pink sheets people biometrically verified. And they were claiming that some people were not verified. And that as a matter of compulsion, everybody was supposed to have been verified with a BVD machine. And so even if one person was not verified with a BVD machine, then the entire results should be annulled. That is not the same case we are making here. Ladies and gentlemen, this election we had was governed by law. And one of such laws is CI 127, promulgated by the Electoral Commission itself. Now, Regulation 32 of CI 127, the blue one. Regulation 32, please put that page on the screen. Of CI 127 says, identification and verification of voters. Now, when you read the 4, this is what it says. So, 32:1 says, a polling assistant may, before delivering a ballot paper to a person who is to vote at the election, require that person to produce a voter identification card in order to establish that the person is a registered voter whose name and voter identification number and particulars appear in the register. No. Go to the one before this one. Now, you come to 4. The voter shall go through a biometric verification process through the use of the biometric verification device. So look at the operative term there. The voter shall go through a biometric verification. The operative term here is shall. But 5 says, where the biometric verification device fails to verify a registered voter and a red light is shown with a voice message rejected, the polling assistant shall A. Inform the agents of the political parties present at the polling station, complete a verification form as set out in the Form 7 of the schedule in the presence of the candidate or agent of the party, and hand over the completed verification form to the verification officer. Then 6 says the verification officer shall draw a horizontal line across the barcode of the voter in the register to indicate that the voter has been manually verified. Now this is the most important point. 7. At the end of the voting and before counting of the ballots, the number of persons manually verified shall be entered in the second box in C6 on the statement of poll for the office of the Member of Parliament as set out in Form 8A of the schedule, and statement of poll for the office of President as set out in Form 8B. So, ladies and gentlemen, the law which the EC itself passed is clear that after voting, the presiding officer there is supposed to record on the face of the pink sheets the number of persons verified to vote manually and also the number of persons who were verified with the biometric verification device. That is the law. You indicate if it is manual 10, if it is biometrically verified 200, you indicate it on the face of the pink sheet. So the law went further to say, to actually provide a template of what or how the pink sheet, which we're going to use for the presidential and parliamentary elections, were supposed to look. So if you look at Form 8A, which is in CI 127, it is so clear here. C6, what is the total number of people verified to vote? Press F2 on the BVD and write it. Number of persons manually verified, then you write it in the second box. That is C6, everything indicated here. But do you know what happened? The GMENSA-led Electoral Commission, in printing pink sheets for this year's presidential elections, did not create any space for their presiding officers to record the number of persons verified by the biometric verification device to vote. There was no space created for it. In 2016, space was created in accordance with the law. The law says provide the space at the end of the election, even before counting. Press on F2 and write the number of people who went through biometric verification and write those who went through manual to check overvoting, because that is the law. You yourselves passed. But the pink sheets we have shown you, ladies and gentlemen, you can see there is nothing on this pink sheet that gives the presiding officer any space to record that figure. So the NDC saw this and drew the attention of the EC to it, that this is a recipe for disaster. It will allow a lot of people to vote without verification. And if you are voting without verification, you can vote multiple times. If you are voting without verification, you can vote with somebody's identity. There can be impersonation, there can be multiple voting, there can be other cases of overvoting. And so this particular provision is critical. And so kindly withdraw your pink sheets and print new ones. They apologized and assured all political parties that they were going to rectify this anomaly. But ladies and gentlemen, they didn't do it. And so on our blind side, they sent the defective pink sheets to all 38,000 and over polling stations without any space for presiding officers to record number of persons biometrically verified to vote. So what did they do? The incompetent GMENSA-led Electoral Commission will always have a lazy approach to doing things. They designed a stamp. So instead of printing the thing on the paper, they said, okay, We'll stamp the surface of the pink sheet, and then the stamp will say total number of voters verified by BVD. So they put the stamp on the face of the pink sheet, and then the officer can write in ink those verified. Now, through our audits, we have found that out of the over 38,000 polling stations in the country, more than 10,000 pink sheets don't have any stamp on their faces, and they don't have any entries of persons biometrically verified to vote. More than 10, I'm talking about 40% of all polling stations in Ghana. In fact, in Ashanti region, it is worse. For example, if you take Offenso North, there is no single polling station in Offenso North where if you pick a pin sheet, you will see that even one person went through biometric verification, because there is no single record. And we have thousands of this. But again, because of time, what we did was that every region we took about 10. Where's Abbas Nuruddin? If you can bring the envelopes. These ones, we will give them to you. I brought the original pink sheets. You will see them, hundreds of them. These are pink sheets from Efiduase, Asokore. You look through, no verification, nothing. It's not that 500 people went through verification, they've written 200. Nothing, it's zero, zilch. No indication that somebody voted with biometric verification. Nothing. All these pink sheets, nothing. If I can get a media man to volunteer, you can come and check. Nothing. There is nothing here. Nothing. And we have a lot of them. They are here. Atremakwa Ngoma. All these pink sheets. Nothing. No verification. Nothing. You see, it is important that we learn to be consistent in this country. The NDC has always maintained that biometric verification is important, but that is not possible for every voter to go through biometric verification, because some people may have defects with their biominutiae. And so we should make provision for manual verification. That has been our position from 2016 till now. Fortunately, the new BVDs the EC bought for this election is even able to record the number of voters who went through biometric verification, even those who went through manual, to give you the figure. The machine is able to do that. Now, the NPP, in 2016, told the Supreme Court, the world, and the entire nation that even in polling stations where, say, 500 people voted, and 490 went through biometric verification, but only 10 didn't go through biometric verification, the NPP went to court, led by lawyer Addison Kufuado, our president today, being the plaintiff, asking that because 10 people voted without biometric verification, all the votes should be annulled, and that the election results were not free and fair, and all that. Today, a whole constituency, no verification. And you say John Mahama should accept the results. What kind of hypocrisy and double standards is this? How? At least be consistent. Or they don't believe in the fact that voting without biometric verification should lead to the annulment of results. It is so clear. The evidence is overwhelming. And ladies and gentlemen, you can see that I'm rushing because we have a lot of issues to share with you. If you want to see these pink sheets, I'm telling you, we have, as we speak, we are not done with our audit. We have more than 10,000 polling stations where people voted without biometric verification because it cannot be found on the face of the pink sheets. And if there was no verification, then it means that either impersonation or multiple voting or other forms of overvoting took place. And if you look at how this is very predominant in the Ashanti region, it is very clear that the reasons why in some cases they stamped and wrote it, but in Ashanti region they didn't, is because they were engaging in multiple voting. It was deliberate. It was to allow them to rig the elections. And so I have explained to you the widespread cases of pardon that we have so far uncovered. overvoting and clear acts of stealing like the SDA trial primary 1 example and other acts of overvoting. We have thousands of them. I've also explained to you the absence of entries of persons who voted without with biometric verification on the faces of pink sheets. We are talking about 40%. This is substantial. It is significant. And it undermines the entire elections because it is an illegality. It sins against Regulation 32 of CI 127. So don't be too quick to say that the NDC doesn't have any evidence and we don't have any case rejecting the results. We have absolutely every right to reject the results and embark on protest actions without prejudice to the other options available to us, because indeed the election results declared are fraudulent. I said I'll give 4. The 4th one, ladies and gentlemen, has to do with the patent mathematical flaws in the results declared by the Electoral Commission. On the 9th of December, the one she issued on the 10th of December to correct the one she declared on the 9th, and the one she has gazetted on the 15th, the one which was gazetted on the 15th. So 3 results, one declared, I think it was even recorded, pre-recorded and played to the nation on the 9th. Then there is a 10th, then there is the one they have gazetted. We are going to demonstrate to you that all those figures declared don't make mathematical sense. The figures have been cooked, but those who cooked the figures were so incompetent that they could not cover their tracks. We have competent people in our party, and we have exposed them. And so, to do this presentation of the mathematical flaws in the presidential results as declared and released and subsequently gazetted by the Jimensa-led Electoral Commission is our renowned statistician, a lecturer from University of Ghana, Dr. Justice Moses Ahito. When he's done with that, I will come to deal with the parliamentary election results, and then we'll wrap up.